you ever written a chorus and it just doesn't land? You go through the verses, everything's shaping up well, and then you get to that chorus moment and it just seems to not go anywhere. That used to happen to me all the time, and then I discovered a simple concept that completely transformed my chorus writing. They became catchier, hookier, and far easier to write. And it's what we call disjunct melodies. And honestly, it's transformed my songwriting, and I know it can do the same for yours. Hey, Danny here from Songwriters International. We help songwriters develop their craft by sharing tips, tricks, and techniques on all things songwriting so that you can go and write your best possible songs. Now, you'll likely right now have choruses that are of the same melodic shape, rhythm, and feel. So when a listener moves from a verse to chorus, it feels the same and there's no contrast between those two parts. And you can end up trying to solve the wrong problem. You're looking at your lyrics, perhaps even your chord progressions, the production, when in reality it's just your melodies. That's the area that you need to work on for a great chorus. So I'm going to share with you an example to how you can take a fairly standard, boring chorus into something that is catchy, melodically engaging with the disjunct melodies. I don't know why I cannot think da da bum ba 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 bum ba da. I don't know why ba 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 da ba da 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 da. Now you'll see with that example it sits on the same note for a large portion of the chorus, and disjunct melodies we're going to dive into in a moment, but this is how it can transform the game. So here's chorus 2 with disjunct melodies ingrained. I don't know why every time I feel like I'm falling, I don't know why I feel that bumping. Don't you bum 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 bum. So you'll be able to see from those two examples how they are completely different and how one of them hits a lot harder, has a lot more melodic movement versus the first chorus idea. So I'm going to share with you the 3-step process to how to implement this into your chorus writing. Now, step 1, we must understand what is a disjunct melody. Now, a disjunct melody is also known as spikes. And the way I want you to see this is a little bit like a mountain. A mountain will sharply rise, sharply fall, sharply rise, and sharply fall. That's what we're trying to replicate with a disjunct melody. A melody that is not on the same note, a melody that is moving consistently and regularly. And that's exactly what we just did. Those melodies are great for creating attention and creating hooks and are easy to sing back with your listeners. So if you just took one note and then spiked it up at a section, so something like this, da 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 da, da 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 da, that would be a very simple disjunct melody. And you can feel the difference instantly rather than just sitting on a same note for a long period of time. Now into step 2, how do we use a disjunct melody in a chorus? In order for it to really land, we must set it up correctly. So in your sections before a chorus, in your verses or pre-chorus, we should be using fairly static melodies. Melodies that do sit on the same note, because then it allows us to have a chorus melody that is the moment where it starts to move melodically. So here's an example of one of the songs that I've been a part of writing, where we have a melody in a verse which is static into a chorus that has the disjunct melodies. So I'll sing you a short piece of the verse and it goes something like this. I've seen 1,000 girls painting their face like a doll. Don't know even why they wanna do it. So a static melody into a disjunct chorus. That right there, that's the look I'm looking for. You can see the difference just in the disjunct versus static melody. And you'll hear this everywhere once you actually listen for it in songs. And songs in which this happens are tracks like Olivia Rodrigo's song, it's called Good For You. And in the verse, it's very static. Da 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 da. Sits primarily on the same note. And then it goes to a chorus. Well, good for you, ba 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 ba. And it's got a lot of spike movement, a lot of a disjunct melody. Or if we look at that famous song by Journey, which is Don't Stop Believing. Just a small town girl, it's a static melody. Living in a lonely world. Doesn't really move much. But then into the chorus, it's got the Don't Stop Believing. And you can see how that melody again is moving consistently. Another small tip for you to try and get yourself into this is to use your hand or your finger and imagine you are on a graph and moving with the melody. So if we took that Don't Stop Believing, don't stop believing, and you can imagine how that melody is moving, and you see it visually with your hand movement, which hopefully can allow you to implement this far easier. And if you'd like my help on how to actually put this into your craft one-to-one, in the description below you can book a direct one-to-one call with me where I'll go through this process and we'll implement it directly into your songs. So go ahead, you can do that. And I'd love to share how you can do this for your songs. Into step 3, and this is often overlooked by a lot of songwriters, but it's what I call a step out to step back in. After writing your chorus, you should really be taking a few moments away from the track, or perhaps even 24 hours, to really try and forget about this track. Imagine you are going to step back into it with fresh ears, like a new listener, and you don't really remember how it sounds. And you've got to ask yourself honest questions. Does the melody actually move? Does it surprise you? Does it create a lift? Does it go from one section of a verse into a big moment of a chorus? Or is your chorus just floating around the same space as your verse and there's no real contrast, no lift, and therefore no reason for the listener to stick around for the chorus? And oftentimes it can just be one leap, one little small tweak in the chorus where you spike one word or a couple words, and that can be it. That can be your chorus and really everything that you want. But you've got to be willing to be self-critical of your work and be willing to analyze it as if it wasn't your track and not be so precious to it. Alternative ways to do this is just to write maybe 3 or 4 choruses rather than just the one which came to you in the first moment. See what else is out there, see what you can explore, see what else you can write. So now that you know how to write a great chorus and the one tip on how to actually do that, you want to make sure that you're writing strong lyrics, because without a strong lyric, you're not going to get to the point of a chorus to be able to showcase your melody. So I've put together a video on how to write lyrics for your verse in just a few moments and make it absolutely killer. So somewhere around here you'll see a video that you can click on, you can go and watch that, and I'd love to share the process with you. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. There should be a button around here, and if you want to get my help one-to-one, you are free to book a call in the description below, and I'd look forward to diving into this and your songwriting.